Back on December 7th, 1941, the USS Oklahoma sank after the attacks at Pearl Harbor. Hundreds of servicemen died. Now, nearly 80 years later, a lab at Offutt is working to identify the remains. Reporter John Madden has more on the lab and why the long process to ID the men is all worth it.
Their picture was in the living room, as well as in my parents' house and several of my aunts and uncles' houses.
Sandra Riebendorf-Cox is the niece of Leroy and Rudy Blitz, twin brothers who were aboard the USS Oklahoma when it was attacked in Pearl Harbor. Sandra and her family were able to say their final goodbyes back in August, thanks to the help of one lab in Omaha.
The Blitz brothers are ones that really stand out.
The lab was able to ID the brothers' remains, but their work is far from over.
We also have the Barber brothers, but we haven't identified them yet.
429 men died on that ship back in 1941.
The Palmer brothers, ID'd them recently too.
And when those lives were lost, some critical information was gone too.
Their records actually were on the ship, and so when the ship sank, we lost a lot of their records.
Which has led to a time-consuming process of trying to bring a name to a face.
For the Oklahoma project, we sampled almost 5,000 bones for DNA. And so we're actually still waiting for some of those samples to come back.
Carrie Lagarde is the project lead for the DPAA at the Offutt Air Force Base.
People didn't know that that was going on at all and that it was going on here in Omaha.
We're unable to show you actual remains, but the bones they do have go through DNA testing or are attempted to be put back together.
A lot of times that's looking at like the left and the right arm. Do these bones look like they belong to the same person?
Even with the long hours, the end result makes it all worth it.
It's exciting to be able to give them some answers about their missing loved ones.
Missing loved ones who can finally make their way home.
Until they're home and that no one is forgotten, no one's left behind. And that's our driving force of what we're doing.
In Omaha, John Madden, 3 News Now.
Since the project started, more than 250 men have been identified. The lab is also working with Europe to help ID remains of soldiers buried as unknowns in that area.